Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to give a quick overview about what we're going to do for front end development. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of timestamps here, and they will also be in the description below. We're going to briefly go over HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, how they form the front end, and then we will quickly go over how to create a React app and then how to make components and how we want the components to be organized. So without further ado, let's go into analyzing HTML and CSS. Now, as you can see here, we're observing a web page. In order to get this pop-up here, the command that you would do for PC is Control Shift and I. You can also just go ahead and click here and inspect element, and then it would tell you how exactly to analyze the element. Now, what we have here is the header, the body, and we should have the footer. Where is it? Okay, we do not have a footer. But essentially, everything that's in the head is the back-end content, or not back-end content, but it's the data. It's the it's the data for the website. The title here is how it will appear up here on the tab. Here's the description. Here's any content that the author would say. Now normally here is also where the author would put their signature or the name. And here's the style sheets that they used. Or actually the most common framework is Bootstrap, which is why I am using this as an example. There are a couple of resources on how to use Bootstrap, even on the Bootstrap website, Bootstrap 4, in which if you go ahead and click on intro, well, the first website, then you look at the examples, actually documentation, they show you how to use each one of their components. Let's go contents, components, their components. So here's where you can just copy the code and put in for a carousel or collapse. Yeah, so normally what you could do is just copy and paste the code and it should be functional. However, let's go into more details about the tags. So as said before, this is where you would put, this is how you would format a style sheet as well as any jQueries. Or actually no, this is all just style sheets. You can tell with the .css. And then here's where you would put the scripts. So anything like jQuery or any functionalities that you would have from a library, this is how you would format it in. So it would be the script, then the source, and then the URL, for the source. Yeah, and the way how you would get Bootstrap is by using this. CSS only, and then this is where you would get the jQuery and the poppers. You can also install it using npm and gem. Okay, and you can also put CSS code in the head by the following. So yeah, if in the head you can also put, well, I'll just quickly do this head. Now notice here how tags need both a header or an opener and a closer. Now putting a dot means class name. Putting a hashtag would be for IDs, and then putting it directly, that would be for just the direct tag. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys how to do it. So we're here. Background. Let's just go color blue. Then what class? CSS. Haha, I'm missing something. Ta-da! See, now it's blue. Now, upon further analyzing this, we could see div. Like I said, this is way how to separate things like components. A is for any links. This is where you would redirect the person to if they clicked on it. This is the specific ID logo. So we going back into the style sheets. If we were to have logo as an ID using the hashtag, then we could change the CSS properties for it. And then this would be where the text goes in. So headers, that determines the size of the text. So H1 is the biggest size that you could get. It goes all the way down to H6. And of course, after that, you can customize your own headers. You can customize the sizes for that. P just means that it would be plain text, paragraphs. Let me see. Once again, here's the links. And then you can also put script inside the body for any, if you guys know how to use JavaScript. Okay, let me see, span class. Now something else, I'm going to show you guys how to do lists real quick because it doesn't seem like they go into detail about how to do that. Ta-da! And this is how you would do it on the order list. Okay, good. And also to insert images, it would be image, then source, and then HTTP, and then where you would get your image. Now, sometimes you would get it from a file in which you would just create, images file, and then get the image.png. Other times you can use an HTTP address like HTTP image URL.com and then specific image. Of course, you can just copy and paste once you know what image exactly you want. Okay, so that is the brief introduction of HTML. Like I said, it wasn't going to be really a tutorial. You guys can do your own research, watch your own videos. But essentially, the key things to take away from here is that the header is where you can put any libraries. This can be CSS libraries, JavaScript libraries, and specifically in this example, we showed how to get Bootstrap. The other thing is that in the body is where you would put most of the content for your website. Make sure you know your headers, your paragraphs, your untitled list. There's also a way how to do forms. Do your own research for that. However, I will be providing examples that I think are the best in the description below. That have a good tutorial about how to do that. And aside from that, yeah, let's go into how to create a React app. So the thing that you want to do is you want to go on Google. Let's go to Google. And then first question you got to do is how to create a React app. Boom. Go here and scroll down a little bit, create a React app. Super simple. Now, if you don't want to read this, I'll just go ahead and translate it to you. You need Node. how do I get Node? How do you install Node in your computer, you might ask? So you just go ahead and go to nodejs.org, and here, I'll just go ahead, nodejs.org, and then there you go. You can download the package right there. This is for Windows. You can also go to downloads, and then there's for Mac OS. Now, if you have Homebrew and or Chocolate in your computer, you can just go to node.js package, and then you can do it this way, but the first way I showed you is probably the best way, the easiest way, in my opinion. Anyways, so once you got that installed, you go here, you copy this, and then new app, or whatever you're going to name your app, then you hit enter. Now, depending how fast your computer, this might take a while. But this is installing all the Node packages, all the Node modules, and it is essentially creating a React app for you. So let's go ahead and fast forward. What I'm going to show you guys is how to clone an application or some code from a repository, from an already existing repository. We're going to go ahead and go here, and then after that we're going to go here, and then clone or download. What you want to do is really just download. You know what, just for just to keep it simple, go ahead and go to the repository, download zip. Ta-da, you have opened the zip folder. Open it. And go to extract all. Okay, now what you want to do is, hopefully you guys have Visual Studio or Visual Code installed on your computer. If not, I recommend that you do that. You go ahead and go with open with code, and then here you have a handy dandy way of keeping track of all your folders. Let's go ahead and go to front end. Okay, index.js. I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys where you guys want to start making changes in the code, which would be right, not there. Okay, does this look familiar? Yeah, this is where you still want to put your Bootstrap, any awesome fonts, and here we have the Google Analytics. And then don't change this. Instead of making the changes here, where you want to make the changes is in, if I can find thing, app.js. Yeah, here, you want to make changes here, app.js. So yeah, let me tell you everything that goes on here. So the format that you guys want to do in order to render objects to the screen is class app extends component, and this creates the component, and then this renders all the components. As you can see here, we only have navbar. Now you're probably wondering, oh, where's all the code for the navbar? You just showed us in HTML that we have to follow this whole thing in Bootstrap, and Bootstrap we just copy paste it. Well, the nice thing about React is that you can create folders for each component. So for example, if we look here where we call the object of navbar, it's going to be in the navbar folder. Makes it easy to organize. So you look in here, here's the CSS. I didn't put any styles. Okay, starting from the top, this is how you create it. First of all, every single JS that's needed is, every single component that is needed is going to start with this: import React component from React. This creates component for each of the files. Um, After you create class app extends component, this is where you would have the front end. Do not touch the back end because this, yeah, we don't want to break it. Okay. And then this is where we would start putting components. And then in order for it to run, you would do export default app. You just go with it. At the end of every component, just make sure you put this, and it exports it. Now you're probably wondering, oh, where's all the style sheets and where's everything for navbar? It's like, how do we make that appear? So in order to see that, we find out where navbar is called, which is navbar. Navbar. This is the JS right here, which is JavaScript code. Which, by the way, this is a JSX code, not JavaScript, but very similar to HTML code. Just, class name instead of class and other differences. So this makes it easy for us to put it on every single page. So instead of retyping and copying and pasting navbar and putting it on every single page, you just call the component for navbar and you put it on the component that you want it in. So it breaks it into little pieces and then you build it into building blocks. So essentially where you get the property here is in purpose data. Now our backend developers, they already have all the components or all the data stored in a database. So when you start building for the front end and you have something that has a lot of variables, like let's say for example the volunteer section, then you want to ask the backend developer how to map it in order to create a list of items. And that's how you use React. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it was educational. I will be providing you with resources to other YouTube links. And if you are a front end developer and you think you can show this better than I can, please feel free to create your own video, send it to me, and I'll post it up. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.